Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BroadBoys podcast. I'm Cade. This is Micah.
Yo.
Now, listen here. I know you have us on the second monitor right now. I need your full attention. Look at me. I know it's hard because there's been a lot of games. Are you subscribed? Have you already liked the video? Oh, you're going to love this video. You need to do it right now. Apparently, when you say it, it makes it work. Subscribe right now. Look down at the bottom. Is the subscribe button glowing? Is it glowing? Spotify listeners, I'm so sorry. But
You can follow us.
you can follow us, download all of the episodes, and then undownload them because that adds us more downloads.
Exactly.
Even though we're shilling right now, we do appreciate you guys. But hey, main monitor, I got my eye on you. Though, what might be on your main monitor instead are all the new betas and network tests and maybe even just some countdowns to a lot of games that are coming out. There's a lot of new stuff going on. Maybe not all brand new news, I would say, but some exciting developments nonetheless. Micah, is there something you want to talk about first?
Yeah. First, I want to say, great segue.
Okay.
Next, we have some really big news that have come out. So a couple things. Overwatch Season 15 released with a whole bunch of new updates. On top of that, the Night Rain network test came out for the new From Software game.
Yep, the new Elden Ring spin-off game.
Yep. There was one more, wasn't there?
There was the Monster Hunter Wilds beta.
Yes, the Monster Hunter Wild beta.
The last beta before release, which release as of recording this is in 10 days.
Yep. So very cool. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Let's break down which one first.
That's what I asked you. That's
Okay, let's do Night Rain.
All right,
let's do Night Rain.
Let's do Night Rain.
This is the anticipated From Software spin-off?
Yeah, spin-off. I mean, it's interesting because we are getting it so soon after
The DLC.
Shadow of the Erd
Yeah.
Tree. It's pretty insane. And it had a lot of people, concerned. They definitely weren't angry and fled to the internet to express their disdain.
I'm still a little concerned. So
Really?
the network test just came out, right? And there's still an NDA on first-party footage, if they had any. I saw a lot of people say they weren't allowed to record, but they were allowed to give their thoughts afterwards with a lot of pre-given footage that FromSoft gave them. It's interesting. They have... So let's run it down basically what it is,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So you spawn in as one of 8 classes. Only 4 were tested during the event.
Yep, and they range from like sorcerer to like more of a tank to more of like a glass cannon rogue, you know, your typical classes.
And then you queue up with 2 other people, so it's a max party of 3. And you go onto an island that's a sort of lobotomized version of Limgrave,
Like
I
Fortnite.
guess.
Yep.
Like Fortnite.
Yep, like fork knife.
And there's a giant blue circle that closes in during the day, like fork knife. And then if you die, you go down and you crawl around, like Fortnite. So that's the Fortnite comparison out of the way. Now let's get into what the gameplay looks like.
Yes.
So it's 3 days. In reality, it's 2, and I'll tell you why. The first day, you go around and you hit these camps and you level up, and leveling up is super important because it's just power leveling.
Yeah.
There isn't actually any stats, but from what I've seen a lot of people talk about, there's hidden stats, which is really unfortunate because they touted originally you can play any weapon you pick up and stuff, which is true. There's no stat requirement. There's just level requirements. But characters have hidden background like strength and dex stats that if you have a strength scaling weapon, only classes that cater to strength, even though those aren't explicit. A lot of people just said they wish that was more upfront.
Okay.
Like you have to try every weapon in the training ground before actually knowing if it's designed for your character.
Oh, that's interesting. There's no indicator if it's a strength or dex weapon.
Well, it says strength
I feel
or
like
dex.
it'd
There's
be
no
pretty obvious.
indicator. There's no official indicator that says whether your character is that.
Okay.
Like, of course, your sorcerer is intelligence based, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a network test. I mean, I think that there might be a bit more
information. You hope that those get
We'll see.
updated.
We'll see.
But anyway, you spend the whole day, which is roughly about 15-ish minutes. And then as the circle closes into a specific spot, you fight a night boss. which supposedly there's a whole bunch of them, a mixture from old games as
Yeah.
well. So like
There's some Dark Souls 3
1,
bosses in
there's
there.
a couple Dark Souls 1 bosses as well. The Night King is in there. There's a giant magma worm that splits into multiple different ones. And then if you win that, you go on to day 2, which is another 15 minutes where you get to go around the map and you still collect other things. And that closes, you get the night 2 boss. So the reason why I say there's sort of a day 3 is because you don't get to go around and collect. Your day 3 is you're transported to a big bridge and you walk across the bridge and you fight the final boss.
Okay.
So there isn't really 3 days.
Well, I
It's
was
just-
getting concerned because you said 15 minutes
Yes.
twice, and so these are longer
Yeah.
runs than other
So if
cooperative
it
rogues.
takes you like 5 to 10 minutes to fight the final boss, right? You're looking at about a 45-minute run each time, which can be a lot for some people. But it
Yeah.
is a FromSoft game, so there's some challenge. The cool things, there's no horse, but there's a new traversal system, which you get this like super sprint.
The movement looks nice.
It does. You get
It
to
looks
jump,
so nice.
jump up walls.
And everyone that I've heard talk about said it's like way better than they thought it was going to be.
I've seen, everyone said that it feels really good.
Because like you can climb up walls, you use like an eagle, so like the verticality
Yep.
is insane, and like you're just way faster than you were in like other FromSoft games.
Yeah. That being said, I don't know. They haven't released what the price is going to be yet.
Have they not released the price?
I don't
I
think
assumed
so.
it was 40.
If it's 40, I can get behind that. I don't know that it's a $60 game. So what people were saying is a lot of the assets are straight ripped from Elden Ring and just placed in.
Yeah, that's what Elden Ring did with Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it's still kind of... Isn't Elden Ring a new engine?
No.
It's not? From
No.
Dark Souls 3?
Well,
That's
a lot
crazy.
of assets were ripped.
I just remember Dark Souls 3 feeling a lot different.
Yeah, I mean they're different games.
Well, I know they're
but they
different
have
games.
they have the same assets. Well, not the same, but there's a lot of the same assets.
I think that they put a lot of good work into it because the bosses are designed for co-op instead, which is cool. I think that's great. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
There's a part of me, the nihilist in me, is like, this is just a cash grab of some kind. They're genre mashing to fit the most like. I just spit all over. That's crazy. They're genre matching to try and fit as many people as they can into it and just ride the hype of Elden Ring, which is fine because I like From Software. If they genuinely have put a lot of effort in and it's good, then I think that's great. A lot of people I watched were like, it was fun, but is it like long-term fun? Or is this just like a 3 run in and you're like, same thing every time?
So that was going to be my main point when talking about this is I don't think like anything we've seen is going to sell or not sell on Night Rain. If you know FromSoft, you kind of know what you're getting into already.
Yep.
It's about what is the permanent progression, quote unquote, you know? Because if you think of other rogues, there are aspects of the game that upgrade run after run after run. What's the incentive to even do a run?
And
you know,
we don't really know yet.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just a network test, and they're testing out the core gameplay, how it interacts with co-op. Because this is their first time doing like a multiplayer based game, so it makes sense. I think people are jumping the gun both ways. You know, being a bit too pessimistic, being a bit too much like this is game of the year. We'll have to see. I do love that when your teammates go down, you have to hit them to res them. I think that works really well for a game like Elden Ring.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting gameplay mechanics with that too. Because like if you have an AOE effect, you can hit the monster and revive your teammates. I think there's a lot of really cool aspects to it that might up the genre. Yet to see, right?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely. I'm not looking at it and being like, this is as bad as my initial thought would be. It's also not like promising me a Game of the Year game.
Okay. I mean, I think it'll be nominated. That's my guess.
Everything from Software is nominated. But
No, that's only since Elden Ring. Okay, let's
wasn't Dark Souls 3?
maybe.
And
I don't
wasn't
remember
Bloodborne?
that. No, Bloodborne wasn't.
Bloodborne
nominated.
wasn't?
No, FromSoft's launch has been like pretty recent. Like Dark Souls 3 was like big for FromSoft. That was the biggest launch. But like Elden Ring made them mainstream.
Well, that's true. That is
Like
100%
mainstream.
True. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So
sentiment.
let's the revisionist history, you know, let's just tone it down. FromSoft is becoming a giant. It basically is one, and now we're going to see how they handle being as large as they are now.
Yeah.
But they just got here, is what I would say.
That's-
They're probably going to get bought out. Is what the realistic option. But I think Night Rain will also kind of set the tone. I think we've said that before. Like, Night Rain will set the tone, just like, hey, where do we go from Elden Ring? Is it cash grabs? Is it, you know, milking a franchise for all it's worth? I don't think it is, personally.
I hope it's still hard. I hope it doesn't lose the Souls aspect.
That's what people are saying. It was hard.
I mean, yeah, I saw that too. People said they struggled with it. A lot of them couldn't complete, you know, the first night boss.
Yeah.
I hope that sticks around.
Yeah. You know, what I really hope for, again, is just the progression. Like, I hope that there's some sort of stat you level up that makes other, like, maybe it's class dependent, maybe it's like account dependent. Where
I would love to see, because you spawn in the night the round table hold, right? And I would love to see that you can upgrade your hold, you can, you know, customize it. It'd be really cool to have your own base that you can, like, invite people to and such. There's a lot of really good roguelikes that do that sort of stuff.
There needs to be an end game.
There does need to be an end game where I don't know if it's like each one of the playable characters can get up to like a level 60 or some, you know, like that means that you finish the game, right?
Yeah.
But you can do it 8 times.
Yeah, because that's gonna change if it's talked about for a month or the rest of the year.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
And as someone, it will be really fun for me because I've been playing the seamless co-op mod for Elden Ring with the DLC, and I've been doing it with a randomizer too. So it'll be interesting to kind of see, like, hey, this is fans' interpretations of getting like co-op mode working versus like the actual FromSoft way.
Yeah, and we'll see how the whole game feels. I think, at least as far as the gameplay goes, it's just Elden Ring with more movement. But if the progression and the roguelike part is really good, then I'll be excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, I'll probably pre-order it. I know we don't typically pre-order a lot of games. Well, I don't typically. But
benefit is what Valve's been doing is there is protection, right? So you can pre-order a game, play for 2 hours, and if you don't like it, you can still return it.
Yeah, I just looked it up. The Night Rain price is $40.
Perfect. So. And then I think that's a very competitive spot for it.
Yeah. What is the name of that game? The other co-op roguelike game. It's the icon is red. Remnant 2.
Oh, Remnant 2. Yeah,
you played that one before?
Yeah, I played Remnant from the Ashes. I haven't played Remnant 2.
Okay, I forget what that was priced at, but I believe it was 40 at launch.
I think it was 40 at launch.
So
too.
I think in terms of like where
roguelikes
the spaces, I mean, Gunfire Reborn is another like co-op rogue that is way cheaper, but it's because it's way more of an indie title.
Yeah.
So AAA multiplayer rogue. Let's see how it goes. Let's see.
Agreed.
How it goes. You brought up Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, Steam just rolled out another new
policy. Yeah. Publisher policy. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it.
It is. It's really big. None of this mobile gimmicky ad stuff. Publishers are not allowed to show. Well, first off, they're not allowed to have any forced viewable ads. Fantastic. Second, they aren't even allowed to have optional ads for currency. Valve has basically said, if you want to put a game on our platform, you are not doing ads in them.
Yeah. Valve's getting rid of in-game advertising.
Yes.
At least on their platform. But it's the platform.
It is the platform. And so
until Gaben dies.
Well, yeah. But I mean, even at the end of the day, right, it's a massive power move because EA was talking about putting in their stuff and Epic was saying that they were going to support that. And now Valve just said, well, if you don't want to see any of this in your stuff, stick with Steam, right? This is how competitive landscaping is supposed to happen. You know, they can say, hey, we're not going to allow it. And so if players don't want to see it, they should just buy it off of our platform.
Which is funny because I don't even think it's the competitiveness that's driving them to make that decision.
Probably not.
Because they don't need to be competitive on that front. They could take the money from the in-game advertise. They could make it so they need a cut.
Yeah.
You know, instead. But I think it's literally just because they're gamer focused.
Yeah, you know, they know it would hurt gaming.
Yeah.
And so
in general, it would hurt gaming. The closer we get to having our PC and console games be mobile games, the worse off it's going to be.
Yeah, and they basically shut it down completely. So a lot of these gacha games that we're starting to implement, you have to watch a video and you can get a poll, right? Gone completely.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but soon.
Yeah, and then they've also been against the AI art in terms of for their assets. If you're publishing a game, you can't use AI art or something like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I wish Nintendo would do that in their storefront. If you ever look at the Nintendo eShop, it's just all AI slop. At least on the recent page, it's crazy.
Yeah, the recent page, but
yeah. Well, that's good. Good for gaming.
It is good. I think those are two very good positive things. But let's talk about something that has players feeling mixed.
Okay.
The Overwatch Season 15 update.
Oh my goodness.
You played it today.
I've been playing it.
How do you feel?
Okay. So let me break it down for you. So Overwatch. What feeling comes into your head, when I say Overwatch?
The joy I had 2 years ago and the pure sadness I've felt since then.
And there you go. So it's back with a box of chocolates and flowers right after Valentine's Day.
It's saying I'm sorry.
It's saying, hey, I know you're looking at that new I know you're looking at that new guy, the old Marvel Rivals. I know you like him, but I'm better for you. So it's bringing out the chocolates.
This really feels like a toxic ex.
I know. It's kind of like a toxic ex. But the gifts are pretty good.
Yeah.
So what they're doing with Overwatch is they're bringing out all the stops. They've said in interviews that, like, hey, Marvel Rivals did make us execute on a lot more ideas way faster. So market competition. Crazy what it does to a company.
I know, right?
Crazy what it does to a company. Blizzard, when it's losing money, is one of the best companies ever.
It's true. It's true.
But what they added is not like just a new map or a new character, but they changed core gameplay. Talking about, like, not just a new game mode, competitive and quick play, just how you play Overwatch has changed. As you play, you level up, and you get to choose between two perks, and you get to do it twice.
Like Apex Legends.
Oh, is that how
That's exactly ripped from Apex, yeah.
When did they add that? Because I don't think that was in base.
2 years ago.
Wow. It's been a while. I haven't played Apex since launch.
Yeah, it's been some they added where you, as your Evo levels up, you also get perks that come with it.
That's cool. It could be in base game. I could be wrong. But it just changes how you play. So, like, there are a lot of characters that have different play styles people use, and so those perks can kind of cater towards your play style and make you lean into them more. And also, some perks are just crazy. Like, DPS heroes can get healing abilities.
Yeah.
Some tank heroes, like, just their survivability is just through the roof now, or their damage is through the roof. So
I saw they were releasing a third-person mode.
So that's like the core gameplay. They're doing a lot of extra stuff, but the big thing that's coming, not right now, but next season in April, is they called it a new core game mode.
Okay.
So it's not like arcade where there's like a bunch of mini game modes that swap out. They're trying to, at least how it seems, invest in a new way to play Overwatch, which sounded like, if you read it, it just sounds like a ton of buzzwords. If you read out the transcript of that section, it sounded like corporate buzzwords. But when people are playing it, it's basically a MOBA, but you don't kill any bots. It's all the players. Like, there's 7 rounds, and then after each round, you get currency to buy upgrades for your character. So, and then the upgrades are pretty crazy. So you can have an explosive charge, you can have a shield bash, you can, with, like, soldier, you can have your healing move with you, that sort of stuff.
That is, out of all the updates, the one thing that I feel is, like, not ripped from something else.
Yeah.
Which, good for them. I'm excited to see how it works, because it is trying to function like a MOBA, but without having creeps, it's interesting because it's going to lead to a snowball effect. I'm interested to see how you balance that. Yeah. And honestly, it's going to be, and that's kind of a theme of the things that they're showing. I think some of the funnest Overwatch has ever been is when the game wasn't, like, defined and figured out. I think when you had to be creative, or where you could be creative and crazy stuff could work. You didn't like have an instant encounter that everyone knew about. It's just like, hey, we're gonna throw in like 3 supports and 3 tanks, and then people just had to deal with that. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, there's a lot of gonna be figuring it out, because at least from the initial gameplay that I saw, it's like, well, you're going to fight each other, and then you're going to have currency based on how your fight went. But it's like, if you won the fight and now you're slightly more powerful, do you not just win the next
So
fight?
so here's the deal. It's like if you win, you get bonus currency, but I think they're also factoring. They said they're factoring in how well you did as well. So I think, in quotations, I think they're going to pretty much be even currency with the winner getting a bit of bonus.
Okay, so it's just going to be a power play type game mode then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like, they're making it, they're differentiating it a ton. For example, they're giving you, it's a default in third person versus first person. So they're really trying to make it like a new mode, not like a new arcade game mode, but like in the main menu, comp, quick play, stadium.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. But I mean, I think the way that they're planning it out is what's impressing me more.
Yeah, an actual roadmap, a release time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've done stuff like that in the past, but it's always been a new map, a new character, new character every 3 months. This is like, hey, we're gonna like change the game multiple times this year.
Yep.
Which I think will get people playing it. They're right now. They gave us a little bit of the sauce, with the perks, and the perks have been great. I've been having a ton of fun just being like, all right, who have I not played yet? Oh, I'm gonna try out their perks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can like be a self-sustaining healer with Genji because one of the major perks is when he's holding up deflect, he heals.
That's cool.
So, one of Genji's big problems is he goes off by himself and dies, but that helps a lot with that. So you can be a dive Genji.
Yep. And it's all just a part of the base game now, which really cool.
It's not an event, it's not a limited time. It's literally just now that's how you play Overwatch.
Yep.
Is that system is in place.
It was the perfect time to change it too. Because when Marvel Rivals came out, their player count was under 20K consistent, which is like the lowest it's ever been. And so, people are like, well, why would you change it? Why would people, play it, right? It's like people weren't playing it. So now's the perfect time to change something.
Yeah. And now they're when Marvel Rivals came out, it was kind of like everyone's punching down on Overwatch for good reason, mind you, good reason. But now Overwatch is standing back up, and now it's more going to be an exciting fight between the two games that's a bit more close, which should hopefully make a lot of them better because competition.
Yeah, you've got two very similar games with two very much like recognizable figures, right?
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals can come out with all of these heroes that people recognize, and Overwatch has been out so long that everyone recognizes those heroes too.
Yeah, I think on that note, I do think Marvel is kind of out of characters that will be like gonna bring in millions of players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like now they're pulling out the niche people or X-Men.
Well, I saw they're bringing out the Thing in this season, and then Blade is next season.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if Blade is confirmed, but
well, he was teased. I don't know if he's confirmed. But
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They don't have as much.
And I'm gonna say this right now. I never thought Rivals was a better game than Overwatch. Like, with Overwatch we have like 8 years now to be like, the game hasn't changed that much. Base Overwatch clears base Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it before. It's like I think Marvel Rivals. Now I might be revising my previous thoughts on it, but I think Marvel Rivals core gameplay feels fun, feels fine. It's like the comparison I made with it where it's like a refresh version of Paladins.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it was never better than Overwatch, but I think Overwatch got put into a point where it wasn't fun.
It's been 8 years. You're tired of Overwatch. Hey, Marvel Rivals is new. And then it makes Overwatch be like, hey, I'm going to try to be fun again. Yeah. Here's my chocolates.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? Like, if they released at the exact same time, Overwatch would clear them. But Overwatch is just stale. It's old. It's like an old piece of gum. But now it's finally saying, hey, we got something new.
I know. It's super exciting. I'm going to be playing a lot of Overwatch. And that's what I foresee in the following months. So that's what I'm getting. So, but yeah, that's the Overwatch situation. And I mean, Rivals just did a presentation today on their mid-season thing. So there's the Thing, there's the Human Torch, there's a new map, and then they're doing balance changes and all that stuff. So that was the main deal. So if you think about which game had it more exciting this week, it's Overwatch. So more people are probably going to be playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the player counts in a month.
I am interested because Marvel Rivals is taking on a lot of new people, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And much like we were talking with Multiverses last episode, if they cater to that new audience who, I don't want to say normies, but like people who are just getting into hero shooters team hero shooters for the first time.
They're fickle.
And then you listen to them. There's like, oh, we need roll queue. Oh, we need anti-heal abilities. You don't need that. So I'm hoping that they kind of stray away from that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what do you think? Do you think that, well, all right, prediction. Who's going to have more players in like 2 months?
In 2 months?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it's still Rivals.
I wouldn't be either. Let's say May. Start of May.
Let me say it's going to tentatively be equal. Rivals still eking it out. I'm just curious if Overwatch is going to be able to pull people from Rivals.
I mean, here's the thing. I think everyone that went to Rivals from Overwatch is instantly back today, now,
absolutely
for the next month.
It's just who continues to grow their audience base.
Yeah, and because, they're giving us a little trickle, and then in April they're kind of blowing us out and be like, hey, here's a new way to play Overwatch. I think that is going to be what makes people play for another year. Or maybe not a year, like 6 months or 3 months or however long it takes you to go through a game phase, It's like that's going to be your thing, is like you're going to be playing Overwatch Stadium. Maybe they'll do some events around that. Maybe they'll do some
and the big thing is always going to be, right, like people don't have time to play both, and so they're gonna pick which one's their favorite after each like major release. So like, I'm gonna try this, right?
And I'm sure we could see a lot of swapping from people too. So
I'm sure, right?
It'll be interesting.
I'll have both installed.
And here's the deal with Marvel Rivals, like it's a fun game, but I would never like ever consider taking it seriously. I'm sorry, but like
I've been borderline. I've had games that are fun enough to take it seriously. I would probably withhold my judgment till I get up to like silver or gold or something, and then see how competitive it feels.
I think the balance is whack. I think that the team up abilities are whack, and for a competitive sense, they're super fun. Super fun. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of like long-term compatibility, how the people that are going to keep playing your game for like years to play comp, you know? I think that it's just not a good competitive game at the moment.
The tricky part is if they ever want it to be an esport, they need to turn down the hero abilities or turn them up and make them more competitive across the board.
Well, they're trying to. They're doing like tournaments about it. And it could just be, I mean, we're going to see. Because like Overwatch did their first Overwatch League pretty soon.
The really cool thing about what they're doing with Rivals is they have in-game tournaments where if you're gold, you can just make your own team. And you participate. And if you win enough, there's like genuine money on the line, like 10 grand for the team that wins per region.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, and that's just sponsored for local. And then imagine what sort of viewership that's going to bring in from streamers who are trying to win and stuff like that. And so, no, they definitely know what they're doing. They just have to make it fun enough for people to do it, right? They could get 1 million people playing in each tournament every single month.
I mean, you got to kind of choose, which way are you going to go with the development? Are you going for the super competitive route, which it seems like they want to?
You kind of have to if you want a competitive game to last a long time.
Yeah. But if you're trying to bring in new players, a lot of times, like, they got Deadpool. They've got, like, I'm trying to think of anyone else. Maybe Thanos.
They have to make their competitive compelling before they run out of characters to keep people in. If they have not fixed competitive by the time that they run out of characters, that's it,
Yeah. Because if you're just looking at it based on purely competitiveness, I don't think it's close. I think if you say Rivals, like your glasses are rose tinted because like it's been like 1 month or 2 months now, I guess. But it's so soon. It's so soon. You cannot base an 8-year game like the Unk versus the new kid. The Unk's got a lot of experience. There's a reason why it's still, even when Overwatch 2 was dead, it still had thousands of people playing it, more than probably your favorite multiplayer game. But so there's a reason for that. So it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Needless to say, I think Overwatch will have more players at the beginning of May.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm curious to find out. I'm excited for where it goes. I think competition in the sphere is good anyway. I like hero shooters. It's just always been indies versus Overwatch, and now finally Overwatch has a genuine competitor.
Yeah, if only there was a AAA competitor to Valorant, maybe it'd get better.
Valorant's done. That's it. We don't even have to talk about Valorant.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you sounded so sure. I don't even keep up with Valorant enough to have a strong opinion about it. I just fell off of it, and now, all right. I will say I played one game of like just unranked, and like just the people were way more toxic than I thought it was gonna be. Just instantly, like round one.
Yeah, it's
not even towards me. You know, it's not towards me. It's just towards other people. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I played a couple games a couple months ago, and I was like, this sucks. Like CS2, right? Is still is a really healthy community, and if you're looking for a 5v5 shooter, like just do that.
Go do that.
Yeah, I don't see why not. And even like Shroud's game that he was making, I don't remember what it was called, has slowed development, and the release date's been pushed back to undetermined now, and so a lot of people are speculating that's fully dropped.
Interesting.
So
I knew that it got delayed. I didn't know that the release date was just undetermined.
There's speculation that it's being dropped quietly, but we'll see.
Yeah. Last, I guess, network test or whatever we want to call it, new development was the Monster Hunter Wilds beta.
Yep.
Beta 2. It's finished up with the betas. I played a lot more of this beta than the previous beta. Dude, I'm telling you, this is like... It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just that's all I got for you.
You got no more words?
Dude, all right, fine. All right. You twisted my arm enough. You twisted my arm. So there's a system where like you wound the monster and you do a wound move, and all the wound moves are super cool. So for example, the dual blades, you do your wound move, you stab, you jump off the monster, and then you literally attack on Titan like Beyblade down his back.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's just a move that you do. You got to have the wound, but then you do it. Then all the weapons have like an awesome kind of move that kind of and it does huge damage. It feels so good. A big feedback from the first beta was the hit stop. They fixed the hit stop, and then there's been a couple complaints in the second beta that they already fixed in the version that they had content creators come in. So they did a lot of weapon balancing. They did a lot of monster changes and that sort of stuff. So that's like all I could ever want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, and also the monsters are going to be sick and it's going to be amazing.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch you
you're not buying it.
I'm going to watch you play it, and then if I'm compelled, I will purchase it.
Fair enough.
Cuz when it releases, I'm expecting to still be playing Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
It's kind of that phase in life where I don't have a whole lot of time.
Do you know you can have 2 weapons at a time?
That's cool. You did tell me that, yeah.
Yep. And then now they're kind of making it this like a system where you jump between hunts a lot faster. So that's nice. So like you can do a hunt, set up your tent, recharge, eat a new meal, and then instantly go.
Oh, you don't have to leave.
No, you don't have to go back to the base camp.
Are cutscenes skippable?
That is yet to be determined. I really hope so, because that's probably one of their most like received feedback is that they need to make cutscenes skippable.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really exciting.
I know.
I'm super excited.
I know you're not as excited as I am. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World in anticipation. I'm this close to playing Generations Ultimate again.
Okay.
Which has like over like 2,900 quests or something like that.
That's crazy.
Like I was thinking about that, and I think that's replacing World in my top 10 games of all time, just because I've played more World recently and more Gen U recently. I'm like, this is the one, because it's like the gameplay is like perfect. Perfect.
I want to talk about Game of the Year now.
Okay, let's do it. Game of the Year. No segue required.
Not for this one.
It's 2022.
Yep, we're almost to now.
If like I was like, man, is it gonna be so long ago? And it's just like yesterday.
I know,
which is crazy.
Well,
I'm ready.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. Are you ready to hear what was nominated?
I'm ready to hear what was nominated.
For Game of the Year in 2022, the nominations were Elden Ring, A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yes.
Now, what's crazy is Horizon Forbidden West is a sequel. God of War Ragnarok Is that a triple?
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. Plague Tale Requiem, sequel. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trequel.
Yep.
Lot of sequels.
Yeah. Elden Ring being the only original IP.
Stray.
Stray. Sorry.
Stray.
I forgot about the cat.
Yep.
Forgot about the cat.
You can't forget about the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Stray was a great game.
I
didn't
never
play
played it.
but I watched
it.
gameplay.
I didn't even bother. I'm sorry.
If you were that type of person, it was a really good game.
I mean, you know my opinion on movie games.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, oh, you did a movie game with a new perspective, which is fine. This is fine. I mean, a lot of people love it.
You could say the same thing about Plague Tale. I mean, there's still a level of like you got to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And God of War won almost everything.
I know. I think it's kind of lame in my opinion, but whatever. I think the biggest robbery was like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 wasn't even nominated for Best Score, which I think is insane. There are so many banger tracks from every Xenoblade game, and the fact that no Xenoblade game has been nominated for Best Score is criminal, in my opinion.
Well, you know what else came out?
Pokemon Legend Arceus.
Yes, Pokemon Legend Arceus. Vampire Survivors.
Oh, yes.
Which was really cool. Cult of the Lamb, which was a roguelike indie game.
Roguelike, town builder, all that stuff.
Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Gran Turismo 7. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga.
I have played that.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
I played the prequels and the original trilogy, and I did not play the sequels. All right, I played the first level of the sequels. Just let that be known.
Yeah. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Apparently a great game. Never touched it.
I never
touched it.
Never even.
Not interested in anything involving a rabbit. I'm sorry. Nothing involving a rabbit.
Rabbids.
Rabbids.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple of them.
A tactical role-playing game by Ubisoft Milan.
The gameplay is really good,
Paris.
apparently. It's apparently
I've
up there with XCOM, people say, with some of the best, like...
I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I never played it.
It's like, I mean, it's kind of hypocritical to me to, like, be like, oh, I'm going to judge it based on how it looks. But it's not just because of how it looks. It's because it has rabbids attached to it. That is the reason. I know the rabbids. It's not because of how they look. It's because of how they sound.
Yeah.
That's it.
What else? Was that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2?
Shame.
Shame. What else? That's awful. Gotham Knights.
That came out in 22?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Overwatch 2.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. It could have been October of 22.
Hold on. It's on the list, but I'm gonna take a closer look. Yeah, October 4th, 2022.
Wow. That felt like it was yesterday. No way.
Yep.
No way. That's crazy.
So that's almost 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, so the question becomes, was anything snubbed? That's a tough year. There's like nothing.
Well, okay, there were things. It's just, I mean, I think there's nothing unpredictable to really talk about. BAFTAs, what did the BAFTAs choose?
Oh, yeah. BAFTAs.
Our good friends over at BAFTAs.
By the way, the British people stopped doing things in 2023, which was unfortunate.
Rest in peace.
So we'll get one more after next year.
We got one more, hooray.
But they picked Vampire Survivors, which wasn't even nominated by the Game Awards.
See, and that's just the AAA bias.
Kind of true. Not gonna lie.
Was Vampire Survivors, I believe, was nominated for Best Debut Indie, but not even Best Indie. Mm-hmm. And that's just a crime. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I completely agree. Like
Man, dude, I need to play they have a Castlevania DLC that adds like 30 characters or something like that.
Bayonetta 3 came out as well.
That game had a funny story.
It got Best Action Game.
Good for Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Screw the voice actor for Bayonetta, though, the original voice actor. Do you remember that scenario?
I don't remember that. What happened?
Basically, before the game came out, the original voice actor for Bayonetta and Bayonetta 1 and 2 and Smash and whatever, said, "Hey, don't buy this game. They didn't use me because they were gonna pay me like $5,000 or whatever." That wasn't true. It wasn't true. And so she got exposed for basically lying, and then people were like, "Oh, you're trying to just hurt the sales of the series."
Oh, crazy!
Is what it turned into. That's the Spark Notes version.
Interesting. No, I didn't hear about that.
So that's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Best fighting game got Multiverses, which is funny.
That
considering
is also funny.
It's now shutting down.
King of Fighters 15 was on the list.
It was, yeah.
Sifu was on the list.
Sifu, as well as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R.
Why is Sifu considered a fighting game? Because you fight in it. That's an action game.
I don't know why
everything is considered a fighting game at that point.
It's not a fighting game, but
it's not, I don't know why. There just weren't enough fighting games that came out that year. I'm guessing.
Well, okay, so on its Wikipedia page, it's considered a beat 'em up.
It's still not a fighting game.
It's closer than an action game.
Streets of Rage 4 is not a fighting game.
Well, we've talked about how action games are a bad classification anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not a fighting game. That's just lying.
To beat 'em up.
Sure, yeah, it's a beat 'em up game. That's way more. I think it does fall into the action adventure. Well, no, it's more action
than adventure, yeah.
It's just an action game.
I don't disagree with you. I just think it's funny.
There's no reason it should be there. And also, Sifu wasn't nominated for like anything else, I believe. That's the thing. They just needed a place to put it. That's all it is.
Oh, the best debut indie game was Stray.
Yippee.
Neon White, Narco Tunic, and Vampire
Neon
Survivors
White came
were.
Out. Neon White is a masterpiece of a game too. I doubt you've played it.
I have not played Neon White.
It is.
I didn't even know about it.
Do you know about it like as of this moment?
I am looking at it currently.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Neon White is like kind of a speedrunning game. Where
I have seen this game.
It's got an awesome gun card system, and you run around and you try to get a great time on each of your levels.
Okay.
And then it's all about the leaderboard and the levels and all that. So if you like speedrunning at all, Neon White is like an amazing game. You need to try it out. If you like speedrunning in any capacity. Might be a bit too much for you, I would say. But, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, do you speedrun? Have you ever speedran a game?
I speedran Hollow Knight.
You got the 112%.
Yeah, but I did it in 36 minutes, so that sounds like speedrunning.
Yeah, but you weren't trying to.
You're
not going to look at your time.
The goal was 2 hours. I did it in 36 minutes.
But did you look at that time? It was like, oh, I could go lower, and then you play again.
You
didn't speedrun Hollow Knight.
Really good about the 36 minute time.
I'm sure you did, and I'm sure that's super impressive. But you didn't speedrun Hollow Knight.
Well, it was speed running.
No,
the goal was to do it as fast as I could. I just didn't want to do it any faster.
Yeah, because you looked at it and said that's good enough, and that means you didn't actually speedrun it. You just got your achievement.
Fine.
Which is okay. I just don't think you're a speedrunning guy.
That's fair.
I've speedran multiple games at this point. Probably too much. I speedran Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom for a bit.
Yes, I do remember that.
Was top 5 on the leaderboard for a second. For a bit. Not anymore, because new tech came out. And then I also speedran Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Speedran Mega Man X for, I don't remember how many years it's been at this point. Like maybe 6 years at this point since I last speedran Mega Man X. But I used to do a lot of that. Used to do a ton of that.
Yeah. I'm not a speedrunner inherently.
Yeah.
I will take fast times and be happy about it, though.
Yeah.
But I don't speedrun. I don't know what other things do we want to talk about. Arcane came out
in 22.
Yeah. And it eked out Cyberpunk Edge Runners, also the Cuphead show, also Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and also Uncharted, which was a bad movie.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of video game adaptations that came out.
There were
that year.
A ton.
Man, what did I see? I don't remember what I saw out of that list. No, Fallout was 24. I'm trying to think. But yeah, no, this is like video game adaptations now well, actually this year's pretty light, I think.
This year is pretty light. You got more book adaptations.
Oh yeah.
That was in our predictions. We're going to see more announcements this year than actual stuff coming out.
Yes, that's right, for video game
Yep.
adaptations for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be exciting to see.
Anyway, do we think Elden Ring won?
Yes. I mean, we're dragging this out. There's no possible way Elden Ring does not win. I'm sorry.
Are you sure that Horizon Forbidden West doesn't deserve to win?
Yeah.
Can we talk about how crazy it is that Horizon Zero Dawn comes out, right? Great game. Then Horizon Forbidden West comes out, and people love it just because it's more Horizon Zero Dawn, right? But then it just dies. Like, you don't see any videos out, you don't see anything else. Like, people played it, and then they stopped. It was...
The Horizon series, to me, is a very obvious industry plant.
It feels like it.
They put her in, what's her name character's name? LA?
Yeah, something
like that. But they put her in everything.
I know.
They tried to make her like the
they got
Sony
a Lego
poster
game.
child. Yeah. What's up with that?
And it did well, apparently. I don't understand what this is.
It's like, I feel like it's bots or an industry plant because it's wild. Because whenever you hear anyone talk about games, no one's talking about Horizon. Even after West came out. When West came out, it was like maybe...
Yeah, supposedly their sales were really good. Supposedly everyone really liked it. And
I don't see it.
I saw maybe one video on it where someone was like, if you liked Horizon Zero Dawn, you'll love this.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm not saying West is a bad game by any means necessary. It's just the mainstream, like... appeal and like success that they reported it had enough to where it's in like Brawlhalla and like representing Sony in a lot of different games.
It feels really weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I played Zero Dawn, I enjoyed it. Did I think it was anything like uber special? No, but I know a lot of people did. And so I guess those people would have bought the next game, but I can't imagine more people bought the sequel than the first game.
I can't imagine that either.
Which
because it also didn't have like any marketing for it before it came out too.
I saw there was like one trailer that was on repeat for YouTube, but it was a 10-second skip, so it wasn't even something that I cared about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it. The industry plants.
I know.
Well, actually, that's the only one I can think of.
I can't think of any other ones.
But yeah, exciting stuff though.
I know.
In 22, I'm still playing Elden Ring, so that's kind of a testament to like I love it that much.
Elden Ring's a great game. I 100%ed it.
I think it's a generational game. I think it's like that's a game that's going to define the early 20s probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Elden Ring is there. I can't even think of anything else to say about it. It's a great game.
You beat it once.
I beat it 4 times.
There we go for the achievements. That's right. There you go.
I played it once. I played it once again for fun, and then I had to play it twice for the achievements.
I played it once and then played it once for fun. I'm so glad you were able to get past the slog of that first playthrough, man.
That's not what I meant. I played it once.
Bro's playing this for work. He's like, all right, time to hit my 9 to 5. It's playing Elden Ring.
I played it once through, legit. I played it once through to cheese everything, and then I had to play it again for the achievement, and then New Game Plus. I just went through as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, yeah. For my last, for some of those endings, you just get one weapon, you just skip all the bosses except for the main ones, and you just beat it. It's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So,
and love the game though.
Oh yeah, amazing game, amazing game. I don't know how they did that. I'm still thinking about like how did they even? They made Dark Souls 3.
They had George R.R. Martin write it.
Bro, I've been hearing. The more I hear about his process in the game, the more I'm like, I don't know how much he actually did.
He wrote a. He helped co-write a scientific paper for some video game to explain like the rules, the magic rules in it, like. Actually co-wrote a scientific paper with some students instead of finishing Game of Thrones. The man is out here in his side quest arc, and he hasn't even touched the last 2 books.
Listen, you gotta experience all the content before you do the final boss.
But he's like so big, right? Like, too big to fail. He could release 2 books of slop and he would sell millions of copies.
He should finish Game of Thrones and do a new series.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't understand what he's doing.
It's pretty funny, though.
He's co-writing scientific papers rather than writing his book.
How much can you blame him? I mean, he's getting bag upon bag upon bag. How much do you think he was paid for that Elden Ring gig?
Oh, so much.
And all he wrote was, like, incest with yourself. as the lore. That was the lore.
And then he wrote a whole religion around and everything. It was great,
Yes. And that's Elden Ring lore, in case you don't know what it's about.
Yep.
That's it.
That is it.
So
The Shard of Mikola, or whatever it's called. I didn't pay much attention. I just knew there was a deity who split into two deities who had sex with each other, and it's weird because it's the same deity. So
yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah,
multiple kids with yourself.
Yeah, multiple children with yourself, which is the reason why they all turned out angry and deformed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. This year's gonna be interesting, man. We got all the Nintendo stuff that's supposedly gonna drop in April, or all the information we're gonna get. So
I know
it's gonna be a wild
new
ride
news.
of a year,
and you'll hear it all here on this podcast.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Did you find Micah's address in the last episode? Did you? If not, go watch that episode. You can find it. I believe in you.
It's in there somewhere.
Yep. Have a good one.
Peace.